Ladies and gentlemen, as much as I hate to bring you guys heart-wrenching stories, we're going to talk about this little boy right here. He was only 7 years old, and what his mother and his father did to him is just something that really puts a lot of hate in my heart for a lot of different reasons. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share the story with you guys for the people that listen to this and they wonder, like, how can people sit and listen to these heart-wrenching stories? All we got to do is listen to the stories. That is in no comparison to what these children actually have to live through. So out of respect, I always just ask people to just at least open your mind and open your heart and listen to our stories, okay? Here we go. This story is out of Denver, Colorado, and a 40-year-old man by the name of Leland Pankey, which is on the far right-hand side, L-E-L-A-N-D, Pankey, P-A-N-K-E-Y, was handed the maximum sentence allowed by a judge Friday for his role in the death of the 7-year-old boy that you guys saw on my screen by the name of Caden McWilliams on the far right-hand side. So that is his son on the far right-hand side. That is the biological father, if we can even call him a father. I really want to call him so many different names. Now, Leland Pankey and his 42-year-old, the mother of the boy, let me see if I can get her picture up on the screen for you guys. This lady, her name is Elisha Pankey, living in Aurora, Colorado, one night confined that 7-year-old boy to a blanket-covered animal carrier. How many of you guys are familiar with animal carriers? I don't know if you guys have ever had any animals or ever utilized the carriers. They are very small. It is very hard for an animal to get out of them. And if you cover it, it could be a very, very scary thing. It's pitch black. And I would imagine if you put a child in there, it probably could kill him for lack of air. I don't really know. This is a very strange story, okay? Now, they awoke to find him dead and then allegedly took his body to a Denver storage unit. And that looks like that's a U-Haul, but that's where they found him at. A Denver storage unit, and they wrapped the carrier in industrial strength plastic bags, and then they poured an instant concrete mixture into the carrier and bag. I know how bad that sounds, guys. They literally did that. So they wrapped the carrier up in industrial strength plastic bags, and then they poured instant concrete inside of the carrier and the bag. Cement. Police investigators found Caden McWilliams, the 7-year-old boy's body, at the unit in January of 2018. His concrete encased, decomposed body remained in the animal carrier in which he passed away. A coroner's report described Caden as severely emaciated. Now, I want you guys to understand what emaciated means. We've talked about that a lot on my stream before. That means that they starved this boy beforehand and probably for a long amount of time. They say he was emaciated. Now, y'all know how I feel about people starving people. That breaks my heart when people cannot eat. I will literally, like, I'm not the type of person, like, if you just ask me for money, I'm not going to just hand you over some money. But if you ask me for food, I will go out of my way to try to make sure that somebody can eat. That's one of the most harsh things that any human being can have to live through, right? But they said his emaciated body, he also had injuries about his head and body, and a measure of methamphetamine in his blood. So it sounds like they drugged him also. Yeah, so if y'all say that they look like the parents on drugs, they probably were. But they say they found meth in this 7-year-old boy's body. The coroner estimated that the boy Caden had died in May of 2018 because they don't really know when he actually died. They're just taking a guess. All right? Now, Friday, Denver District Court Judge A. Bruce Jones, oh, okay, I missed that part. Judge A. Bruce Jones sentenced the father, Leland Pankey, the boy's biological father, to 72 years in prison. And I gotta say, I think that they got that judgment correct. What do you guys think in the chat? Tell me what you guys think about that. Do y'all think 72 years is enough? If he serves out even 85% of that, he gonna be dead anyway. And the chances of them doing something to him in prison is going to be very high because of what he did to his own damn son. Why doesn't the baby's name match up with the parents? Very good question. That's why I love the live chat. Let me take a pause for the cause and give a shout out real quick. Sharon Arnold said, sending blessings for all that you do. Prayer hands. Thank you so much, Sharon Arnold, for even believing in what I do, okay? I didn't even think about that. The boy does have a different last name. So maybe the mother had this kid by another man, married this guy, and that kid kept the other last name. That's the only thing I can think of. But they're saying he's the biological father. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Unless the mom is not the biological mom. We'll have to figure that out later. Let's finish telling this story. In a press release, the Denver District Attorney's Office wrote, the sentence reflects that Pankey's offenses were intentional, were deliberate, calculated, callous, and self-serving and depraved of any sense of humanity or human kindness. I love that statement because there's so many of these parents and so many of these stories that we could describe people that exact same way. And I like the way that they worded that because you really can't add much to it. The father, Pankey, agreed last month to a plea deal. So he pleaded out with Denver prosecutors, pleading guilty to child abuse resulting in death and tampering with a deceased human body. Because the chances of him getting the death penalty were extremely high. Okay? Let me take another pause. If you guys would click that thumbs up when you come in, it'll help share the stream and let other people know that we're live. And I want to say thank you to everybody that's already came in and just click that thumbs up. Let's share the memory of this baby boy, okay? Now, at that time, Denver District Attorney Beth McCann defended her decision to drop Leland Pankey's murder charges because they were going to charge him with murder. This agreement provides justice for baby Caden while ensuring that Mr. Pankey will serve a significant amount of time behind bars. This is one of the most horrific cases ever handled by Denver's DA's office, and we were acutely concerned about re-traumatization or re-traumatizing Caden's family, as well as the jury, judge, and everyone else involved should this case proceed to trial. After Friday's sentencing, Beth McCann rekindled the family's memories of a sweet and gentle boy. And I want to make sure that you guys see those pictures as they scroll by. Like I say, for the life of me, I can't imagine what that boy did to deserve what he got. He did nothing to deserve what he got. And these parents deserve death for what they did to this boy. Okay? My hope is that the hawk becomes a symbol for all Denverites, and that whenever we see a hawk soaring, we will all take a moment to think of Caden, and in that moment, remember to be kind to one another. News of the boy's death and circumstances of it reverberated through the community where he lived, played, and where he went to school. When I saw the news, I balled my fist and cried. Oh my God, how can you do this? How dare you hurt that little boy, said Tina Wright, who was Pankey's former landlord. He was so beautiful and so innocent. The mother, Alicia Pankey, told investigators of abuses at the hands of Leland, so she tried to pin a lot of this stuff on him. This included time spent inside the same animal carrier in which McWilliams eventually died in. Alicia Pankey pleaded guilty to child abuse resulting in death in October of 2019, and she is scheduled to be sentenced April the 1st of this year. So we don't know how many years she's going to get, but I hope she gets life in prison too. Let's go ahead and give you guys the fair usage and go ahead and show you guys the news clips because we got a few of them. Let's get it. federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, we're doing pretty good. Let's try to get at least 200 thumbs up tonight if we can. So as people come and go, click that thumbs up on your way in and on your way out. Thank you guys so much for continuing to do that. Let's get it.
Continuing to cover Colorado first right now, the mother of a 7-year-old boy found dead in a storage unit has pleaded guilty. Elisha Pankey entered that plea deal this morning in a Denver courtroom. She pleaded guilty to child abuse resulting in death. In December, the body of her son, Caden McWilliams, was found encased in concrete at that facility. Pankey now faces a sentence of 16 to 32 years in prison. Her sentencing is set for October. The child's biological father, Leland Pankey, has a sentencing hearing himself set for September in that case. Killing her little boy and hiding his body in a storage locker was back before a Denver judge this morning. Tori Mason is outside that self-storage business where the body of Caden McWilliams was found, and the little boy certainly is not forgotten, Tori.
Definitely not, Alan. There's a growing memorial outside the storage facility where his body was found last month. Thousands of cars have driven past that storage unit over the last several months, and there's a chance he's been inside the whole time. Denver police discovered the 7-year-old's body just before Christmas, but investigators believe he died several months before that in May. His mother, Elisha Pankey, was formally charged this morning with child abuse resulting in death and abuse of a corpse. Pankey still has the option to bond out for $250,000. The judge also granted an order of protection for her other son, Camden, and appointed him a legal guardian. Police still have not released the cause of Caden's death. Now, Caden's father is not charged in his death, but he is in jail facing domestic violence.
Now, that's actually a older news video. Let me go ahead and bump you guys up to a newer news video. Because what the mom is saying, Elisha Pankey, is she's saying that this is solely on the biological father, that he beat him up, put drugs in his body, killed him in that cage, and then sealed it up with some type of industrial strength plastic and poured concrete, like quick concrete in there. Like, I just don't understand. Like, how do we get to that point? But let's move on. Let's watch the videos.
To this day, I wake up.
And for the people who are donating, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna read these real quick. Let me shout out real quick Chris Thorns, again, Mom's Fur Babies. Neil, if you're in the chat, I see you in the chat. Thank you, Neil. And also thank you. I'm gonna have to pull up your name because I don't want to read your real name because I know you got a chat name. So Chris Thorns, if you're out there listening, thank you, Chris Thorns, and shout out to his show. You guys make sure and check him out as well. Don Love, I knew it. Okay, that's why I wanted to wait before I read the name. So thank you, Don Love, if you're listening. All right, let's get it. That's the biological father right there.
Cry.
It was an emotional day in court for the family.
To this day, I wake up and cry.
It was an emotional day in court for the family of a 7-year-old boy who was found encased in concrete. Good evening, everybody. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Ann Trujillo. Caden McWilliams was found dead inside a storage unit. That was in 2018. His parents both charged with his death. And Denver 7's Nicole Brady was in court today as Caden's father was sentenced to decades in prison.
A smile cutting through the pain in a courtroom.
I saw his sweet little face and was immediately smitten.
As Caden McWilliams' aunt and grandma spoke of their tremendous loss.
He was my soulmate, my little confidant.
Caden's teacher, who couldn't bear to be here today, sent a letter.
I cannot put into words how much potential he had and how deeply he will be missed.
Throughout all of this, Caden's father, Leland Pankey, showed no emotion, even while staring at photos of his son, who prosecutors say he abused to death and tried to hide in concrete in a storage unit.
43 days that child suffered, day in, day out. There is absolutely no dispute that both of these parents deserve to die in prison.
The judge noted that drugs, including meth, likely played a role in a crime so heinous, but did not spare Leland Pankey the maximum sentence of 72 years.
So you will have an extended time in prison, and I hope whatever spark of good is in you, you can do something good with it.
Caden's family still has to endure the sentencing of his mother, Elisha Pankey, who faces 32 years in prison. But they're hoping Caden will be remembered now not for his tragic death, but for his bright life and spirit.
Caden's family members believe that his spirit lives on and watches over them. They have collectively decided that the red-tailed hawk represents the elegance of Caden, and they will forever be reminded of him by the sight of a hawk.
Nicole Brady, Denver 7.
Here's the next video.
Denver, where a father is headed to prison in connection with the death of his son. A judge handed down the maximum sentence today to Leland Pankey, 72 years. He pled guilty to child abuse resulting in death.
Well, hold on just a second. You're saying the father gets decades, but the mother gets way less. Well, we don't know what the mother is going to get sentenced with just yet because her sentencing is coming up on April 1st. So we still got that's still a little bit less than a couple months away. So we still got time before we find out what she's going to be sentenced with, because maybe she gets sentenced to the same thing, but we don't know just yet. All right, here we go. Listen up. Here we go.
And tampering with the deceased body. Body of 7-year-old Caden McWilliams was found in a Denver storage unit. The boy's mother also pled guilty.
We continue to learn more about the family of the 7-year-old boy found dead in a Denver storage unit. His parents have been dealing with domestic violence and drug issues for years now. First, it was the mom turning herself into police. She faces a charge of child abuse resulting in death.
Now her husband appeared in court for allegedly assaulting his wife. 9 News reporter Sonia Gutierrez has been following the story from the start. Sonia, can you sort all this out for us?
Absolutely. So I was able to confirm that Elijah Pankey is married to Leland Pankey with a marriage license. We already know that Elijah Pankey has a criminal record dating back to 2000 that includes driving under the influence and heroin possession. Today, I got a hold of more court documents that accuse Leland of abusing her several times. Today, Leland Pankey appeared in court facing second-degree assault charges from an incident back in November of 2017. He's accused of holding his wife down on the couch and strangling her. His wife told officers that she lost consciousness twice from his strangulations. Police believe that the boy has been dead since May. Child advocates say that that's far too long.
I look at this as an example of a boy who probably had a lot of flags going into the decision to pull him out of school that people missed or decided not to pay attention to. And then it got to the point where when the kid was gone for 7 months, nobody asked.
That's what we talk about. Remember, we talk about our yellow flags and red flags. That's exactly what that man just said. Is he said that people miss the flags, the warning signs. And that's why we always have this saying, if you see something, say something. Even if you're wrong, it's better to say something and be wrong than to not say something and a kid end up dead. And by the way, the National Child Abuse Hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 800-4CHILD or 800-422-4453. Or you could just Google search it. Always available if you suspect child abuse.
And I think if we all sit back and say, what role could I do differently in a situation like that, we can prevent Caden's tragic situation from happening again.
DPD is asking anyone with any information about the case to call Crime Stoppers. You can
It just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart.
A horrible discovery inside a Denver storage facility. Police confirming to Denver 7 that a little boy's body was found.
And that boy's mother's been arrested for his death. Denver 7's Liz Gilardi is live in Denver with what she has learned today about this sad case. Liz?
And there's still some big questions that police cannot answer. They will not confirm how long the boy's body may have been in that storage unit.
I think they pulled him out of school. For the person that's asking where was the child's teacher, I think they pulled him out of the school. So once they unenroll him out of school, they have a certain amount of time before legally they're supposed to put him in another school. I'm not sure, but they said that they missed a lot of red flags. I'm not sure what happened, guys. I really don't. But y'all, you're absolutely right. That's a great question.
Or when he died, how he died, but it could have been there for some time.
And come to the office, I'd give him candy. Like, it just breaks my heart. Just breaks my heart.
Tina Wright saw 7-year-old Camden all the time, remembering the boy in this photo taken several years ago.
I was so worried.
She used to be the property manager at the Cherry Plaza Apartments, where he lived with his mom, Alicia Pankey.
And they always had problems financially paying their rent, but I always worked with them.
2 days before Christmas, police found the boy's body in this public storage facility. It's a quarter-mile away from the apartment where they used to live. When Tina found out, she thought about a conversation she had with the boy's grandmother.
And then her mom came in and told me all how worried she was about that little boy.
Camden's mom appeared in court this afternoon. She turned herself into police yesterday. On December 23rd, Denver police received information from Aurora police about a missing 7-year-old boy. That same day, the investigation led officers to the storage facility where they found his body.
We're looking at the time frame and all of the details.
Tina says after she quit her job as property manager, the family was evicted. She's left with so many questions about what happened to such a sweet little boy.
That's when the eviction took place, and they had to get a storage, so who knows how long that baby. I'm waiting for the coroner, to say why he died and how he died.
And they still weren't even able to find a definitive answer. They don't even know how long that kid was in that storage room. Here's the next video.
5 months after a young boy was found dead in a Denver storage unit, his father has now been charged in the case. Leland Pankey faces charges including first-degree murder and child abuse resulting in death. He is set to appear in court next month.
You're saying your state has no check-ins? Sheesh, man.
Caden was filled with light and lit up the room.
This is definitely a moment for hashtag TTT and hashtag TTO. Do y'all remember what that stands for? Y'all know we use a lot of hashtags here. What does TTO and TTT stand for? Y'all can post it in the chat. This is a perfect moment to use them. Hashtag take the ovaries, snatch this bitch's ovaries out of her uterus. Hashtag snatch this nigga's nuts off of him. Straight up. Absolutely insane. Hashtag take the testicles. Hashtag take the ovaries. Let's get it.
He was sweet and gentle, and our entire family fell in love with him.
Family, friends, even teachers.
He was bright, hardworking, and kind to everyone around him.
They all remember this 7-year-old boy as they knew him, full of life and always smiling.
421 days ago, on January 3rd, we learned through a media lens that our family would never be whole again.
A few weeks earlier, in December 2018, authorities found Caden McWilliams' body in a Denver storage unit.
Caden's tragedy has deeply saddened our community.
Investigators found him entombed in concrete, saying they believed he'd been dead for months.
With shock, horror, disbelief, outrage, and sadness.
Caden's mother, Alicia Pankey, pleaded guilty to child abuse resulting in death last year. Today, a judge sentenced his father, Leland, to more than 7 decades in prison.
He trusted them to take care of him.
Yeah, real quick, let me thank one of our new channel members. That is Baby Girl Dustin. Y'all know she has been around here for a while and she's donated before. But let me say thank you for joining the channel membership. You now have a badge by your name. Thank you so much for joining the AFC, the Advocates for Children. Thank you for supporting what we do here. Thank you.
Love him.
The 7-year-old boy's loved ones, those who remember him in this courtroom, now endure their own sentence.
597 days ago, Caden McWilliams was officially given his angel wings.
They count each moment that passes without Caden.
515,808,800 seconds ago.
Down to the very second, they say they know precisely how much they've lost. Allie Levine, 9 News.
Ooh-wee.
Covering Colorado First at 5, and Denver police are trying to figure out if more than one person was involved in the death of a 7-year-old boy found in a storage locker last month. Police found the body right before Christmas.
Caden McWilliams' mother, Alicia Pankey, is already in custody. Rick Salinger was in court for us today, where her husband appeared before a judge on charges that he tried to strangle her. Rick?
Karen, this incident happened more than a year ago, but Leland Pankey was only arrested recently when he was found. I asked Denver police if he has been ruled out as a possible suspect in the boy's death. The answer I got was the investigation is ongoing and at least one person is in custody.
You say you have no idea how a child can go missing in a family and nobody asked any questions. I 100% agree. I have no idea how that happens. Not at all. And Brittany said, don't forget to like the video. Thank you for doing that. So if you guys would, don't forget to click that thumbs up, help share the stream, and let other people know that we're live. But I 100% agree. Like, where are the relatives, the grandparents, somebody? I don't understand. If nobody else, how come the grandparents didn't ask any questions? Some relatives? Cousins, sisters, somebody, brothers, I don't know. Let me see. They already confessed them. Let me see. No time needs to be wasted in this ongoing problem. Oh, okay. Thank you, Keyshawn, for that message. Thank you very much.
On her Facebook page, Alicia McWilliams Pankey once wrote, "My baby boy lost his first tooth. Love you, Caden." Last month, that boy she loved so much was found dead inside a storage locker here. Alicia turned herself in to police. She is accused.
So that actually answered the question why he has a different last name, which is weird because the baby took on the mom's maiden last name. It's kind of weird, but that's why. So that's definitely the biological mom and definitely the biological father. But anyway, we got a few more videos. If y'all want me to keep going, Saturday night, I've got time. Let's try to keep this thing rocking, man. Y'all keep clicking that thumbs up. We're doing really well. Let's try to get over 200 thumbs up if we can. We're 181 right now. Let's keep going.
Accused of child abuse resulting in death. Now her husband, Leland Pankey, appeared in court, accused of strangling Alicia in November 2017. Tina Wright, the former property manager here, remembers the incident well.
He's definitely a wired person. He's very high-strung. I've heard them yelling and screaming all the time.
She said that she heard them yelling and screaming all the time with that kid there. I think that's part of her responsibility, that maybe she saw that and heard that. She could have called Child Protective Services for sure. Let me say thank you real quick. We have another person that joined our channel membership by the name of A. Sojourner. And I gotta say, I like that name, like after Sojourner Truth. But thank you very much for joining the AFC. We're absolutely honored to have you here. If you'll refresh your screen or refresh to YouTube, you'll have access to some of the emojis down there that you can utilize those at any point in time to express your opinion about this story. Thank you again for joining the channel membership. Thank you for that.
In that apartment.
Then, just over 2 weeks ago, at this Aurora motel, police found heroin in a bag of medication belonging to Alicia Pankey. How about drugs?
That I didn't know of.
Caden had been going to Ellis Elementary School in Denver until school ended last year. His mother, Alicia, had attended George Washington High School and kept in touch with former classmates on Facebook. 6 years ago, we were given the best Christmas present ever. His name is Caden. We are so lucky to be your mom and dad.
He was a great kid. He was very kind, very loving.
She called him a wonderful boy and said she was heartsick.
Hashtag if you see something, say something. Thank you very much. No matter how little it may seem, you ladies are absolutely right. Thank you for that.
In Denver now, a mother pleads guilty in the death of her young son. Alicia Pankey now faces a sentence of 16 to 32 years in prison. Investigators found the body of her 7-year-old.
To this day, I wake up and cry.
It was an emotional day in court for the family of a 7-year-old boy who was found encased in concrete. Good evening, everybody. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Ann Trujillo. Caden McWilliams was found dead inside a storage unit. That was in 2018. His parents both charged with his death. And Denver 7's Nicole Brady was in court today as Caden's father was sentenced to decades in prison.
A smile cutting through the pain in a courtroom.
I saw his sweet little face and was immediately smitten.
As Caden McWilliams' aunt and grandma spoke of their tremendous loss.
He was my soulmate, my little confidant.
Caden's teacher, who couldn't bear to be here today, sent a letter.
I cannot put into words how much potential he had and how deeply he will be missed.
Throughout all of this, Caden's father, Leland Pankey, showed no emotion, even while staring at photos of his son, who prosecutors say he abused to death and tried to hide in concrete in a storage unit.
43 days that child suffered, day in, day out. There is absolutely no dispute that both of these parents deserve to die in prison.
The judge noted that drugs, including meth, likely played a role in a crime so heinous, but did not spare Leland Pankey the maximum sentence of 72 years.
So you will have an extended time in prison.
Well, you guys are asking, why does the dad get more time? Well, I think the only way we can make a determination is after April 1st, we will know what the mom is going to get sentenced to. Then we can kind of compare and figure out whether they got the equal amount of time. I think they should get equal time. I don't think it should be a difference. Thank you, Elizabeth Richardson, for your $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Actually, that's a super sticker and said #1 fan. Elizabeth, thank you very much for your support. Truly appreciate that. And I like those emojis. I really do. But yeah, her sentencing date is April the 1st of this year, and then we will know exactly how many years the mom is going to get. So it might be equal to the father. We just don't know yet.
And I hope whatever spark of good is in you, you can do something good with it.
Caden's family still has to endure the sentencing of his mother, Alicia Pankey, who faces 32 years in prison. But they're hoping Caden will be remembered.
There you go. Wow. So y'all heard it. They said that she's facing 32 years. She's getting less than half the time. Wow. So if she gets the maximum, oh, thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate that. Love your channel. Great reporting. I really just try to speak from the heart as best as I can, but I really, truly appreciate that compliment for sure. The mom is going to potentially get less than half the time. They're estimating 30 plus years. That's less than half of the father's 72 years. So there we go. I don't know, man. I don't understand how two people are responsible for killing a kid and you're going to give them both different amounts of time. How? I don't understand. Women get a break. So much for equality. Thank you for that. So let me ask this to the feminists out there. Do they really want equality in this world? They don't. What they want is they want certain instances where they get equality. But because if we truly believed in equality, then we would believe and fight for this kid that mom get equal time as the biological father. They are both responsible for the death of this kid. Because keep in mind, the kid was emaciated. They said severely emaciated. That means they starved him. That means the mother had to have known about this kid being starved. Check my PayPal. I absolutely... Do y'all mind? Nakia said, check your PayPal. I absolutely will. You ask me to do it, I'll do it. I could absolutely take a pause for the cause for people who are contributing to the platform. I could definitely do that. Give me a second. I'll pull it up. If you left a message, I will definitely read your message. It looks like you left a message. Let me read your message. As always, I love you, Jay, and the chat family. Keep giving these sweethearts a voice. Nobody else is going to do it. If you don't, if you don't, I'll read it again. Giving these sweethearts a voice, Jay. Nobody else is going to do it if you don't. God chose you. As always, from my heart to yours. Oh, man. Nakia, thank you so much for that. From my heart to yours. Y'all know that's my saying, man. Thank you so much for that. I love it when y'all use that saying. Thank you very much for your donation.
Now, not for his tragic death, but for his bright life and spirit.
Caden's family members believe that his spirit lives on and watches over them. They have collectively decided that the red-tailed hawk represents the elegance of Caden, and they will forever be reminded of him by the sight of a hawk.
Nicole Brady, Denver 7.
Here's the next video.
Well, our Colorado community is coming together this evening to pay tribute to a child whose life was taken way too soon.
7-year-old Caden McWilliams was found dead in December, and his school, his friends, complete strangers wanted to do something to keep his memory alive. Liz Gilardi joins us live with a very special dedication getting underway. Liz?
And we are here at the school Caden attended, Ellis Elementary. That dedication is getting underway, and people are gathered from the community. Some of them didn't even know Caden, but they wanted to do something to create a lasting tribute in his honor. The finishing touches on a work of art with so much meaning.
Way too close to home for me, so I decided that, we should do some sort of a memorial.
Brooke Webb didn't know Caden McWilliams, but her daughter went to school with him and saw him in the hallways of Ellis Elementary. His death touched the community.
It was devastating for the teachers and the parents and the whole community, because if anyone had known that he was, facing that kind of torture and abuse, we would have wanted to step in and do something.
Webb still wanted to do something. A little boy who seemed to be forgotten in life.
Cynthia said, "Who found him?" I don't know that I read that part. They just said he was found. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I'll just read it because it doesn't make any sense. Leland Pankey, the father, and Elisha Pankey, the mother, one night confined the 7-year-old to a blanket-covered animal carrier. They awoke to find him dead and then allegedly took his body to a Denver storage unit, wrapped the carrier in industrial-strength plastic bags, and poured an instant concrete mixture into the carrier and the bag. Police investigators found Caden McWilliams' body at the unit in January of 2018. I'm not sure how they discovered that. That's a great question. Very good question. It didn't specifically say. So I don't know.
And in death. Police believe he was missing for several months before his body was found. So she started raising money for a memorial outside the school he loved.
I wanted, the bench and the tree, and for the kids that remember Caden and knew Caden, that they can have, peace while they're here at school.
His classmates even gave their input on the mural that would be dedicated to the smiling boy with a love of nature. Students met with the artist and helped paint the design they inspired.
It is incredibly joyful. I think about the specific things in it that were very special to Caden, and then I see lots of colors representing so much joy and diversity in our own school, and it really feels very student-centered.
A teacher at Ellis wants people to feel that joy when they look at the mural and when they remember Caden.
I hope that when people see the mural and see the bench, will remember, obviously remember Caden and the amazing kid that he was, and also think about the care and the joy that we have at our school.
A very special and beautiful mural. Not only did the students help paint it, but people in the neighborhood helped out as well. Again, they're gathering here tonight to dedicate that mural, the bench, and the tree, all for Caden. And they were able to raise that money just through a GoFundMe page.
All right, guys, we got a couple more videos. Do you guys want to sit through a couple more videos before we wrap up? Because they had a lot of news videos on this. I'll give you guys a couple more so that way I don't keep you guys here too late. But I appreciate y'all for sticking around as long as you have. So let me go ahead and get to the next video.
Reporting live was
Covering Colorado First at 5, and Denver police are trying to figure out if more than one person was involved in the death of a 7-year-old.
Let's skip that one. We've watched that one. So here we go. These next three are very short.
Problem solvers taking a closer look at how a lapse of 8 months can actually impact evidence in a case just like this. So sources tell our investigative team that the boy's body was decomposed. You heard Vicente say it, but it doesn't mean DNA or other clues can't be obtained. We did speak with a former detective who now runs his own private investigation.
Okay, somebody said that I'm sure it was by the storage company. Once you stop paying for the storage unit, they move your stuff out, auctioning it off and trashing it. I agree. So since they were already suffering through money issues, since they couldn't pay rent at that apartment that they lived in, they probably didn't have money to pay for the storage either. That's a great point. So maybe that's how the police found out. Could have been by the storage company.
Firm. James Albee says a decomposed body can make it more difficult to detect injuries, in some cases even a cause of death, but...
So for the people that are asking, you're saying that she should get life too, and the father? The father got 72 years, and they're estimating that the mother is probably going to get 34 years. Less than half the time. And she's just as responsible for emaciating and starving that boy, probably beating that boy, and knew that the boy had been murdered and said nothing. Absolutely, that's absolutely insane.
He does say it's not impossible.
There's going to be some things that may have deteriorated to the point where you're not going to be able to tell.
And Don, I feel you on that. Y'all know how I feel about those GoFundMes. People kind of are nefarious with them sometimes, but I digress for now.
So soft tissue trauma.
Zachariah donated. And let me say thank you very much. He said, great job. I definitely appreciate your contribution. Thank you for always just being a supporter here. Sending a $10 super chat. Zachariah, thank you so very much for your super chat. Appreciate that.
Maybe gone. But any major trauma, broken bones, those types of things are typically not going to end up being hindered.
Maybe y'all can answer this question while we watch these next couple of videos. I want somebody in the chat to give your examples of why you guys believe that women get less time in jail than men do. My theory, hey, what's going on? How you doing, Jenna? Las Vegas, I see you. Thank you very much. I personally believe that they probably give women less time in jail because the gestation of their bodies is quite a bit different than men. And men can get out of prison after really any point as long as they're alive and they can still produce children. But women can't. Women's gestation really stops between the age of about 37 to 42 or 43. Definitely in their 40s, women's bodies shut down and they aren't able to produce kids as easily as women that are less than that age. That's the only thing that I can think of. Other than that, it's definitely not fair and it's definitely not equality, for damn sure.
An autopsy has been performed, but the cause of Caden's death does remain under investigation. We're going to be following this sad story very closely, and you can...
We continue to learn more about the family of the 7-year-old boy found dead in a Denver storage unit. His parents have been dealing with domestic violence and drug issues for years now. First, it was the mom turning herself into police. She faces a charge of child abuse resulting in death.
Now her husband appeared in court for allegedly assaulting his wife. 9 News reporter Sonia Gutierrez has been following the story from the start. Sonia, can you sort all this out for us?
Absolutely. So I was able to...
Nakia, I am with you. You said, who cares? You do the crime, you do the max time. You are, trust me, you are not going to get an argument out of me. I agree with you 100%. Absolutely.
Confirmed that Elijah Pankey is married to Leland Pankey with a marriage license. We already know that Elijah Pankey has a criminal record dating back to 2000 that includes driving under the influence and heroin possession. Today, I got a hold of more court documents that accuse Leland of abusing her several times. Today, Leland Pankey appeared in court facing second-degree assault charges from an incident back in November of 2017.
So here's the situation. The mother right now is age 42 as of this year because the story came out, the rest of this story came out this month. So if they give her 30 years, she'll be 72. If they give her 30 years. So what you saying, they want to give them an opportunity to have another kid? That's what I believe, Angry Man, to be real honest with you. Because otherwise... Why else would women get less time? I'm just asking a question because I honestly don't know. I try my best not to speak on stuff that I don't know for sure. And I can't even really put any type of thesis around it. The hypothesis. I really can't. I don't know. What's up, Mike?
He's accused of holding his wife down on the couch and strangling her. His wife told officers that she lost consciousness twice from his strangulations. Police believe that the boy has been dead since May. Child advocates say that that's far too long.
I agree.
I look at this as a example.
The 7-year-old boy found dead in a storage unit had meth and cocaine in his system, according to the medical examiner. Caden McWilliams was found in December. On Friday, the Denver office of the medical examiner released the autopsy results. The report reads in part, "It is possible the decedent experienced complications of injuries, for example, infection or sepsis. However, he may have also suffered a component of asphyxia, dehydration, and/or hypothermia, which cannot be confirmed."
And they pour concrete in this goddamn thing, man. Just absolutely sick. Sick. Can y'all think about that for a moment? Imagine if you were one of the investigators or the coroner or whomever who had to go in there and drag this cage out, cut it apart, and then have to deal with picking the concrete off of the body and try to keep it intact as much as you can, and then try to determine how he died. That is... You're talking about people that probably suffer from mental illness. Just from doing the job of a coroner, I can guarantee you that those people probably are suffering from some issues they damn self. For real. Shell Holmes just joined the channel membership, and I want to say thank you for that, actually, Shell. Definitely appreciate that, and I hope I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, let me know. But thank you for joining the AFC, where we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours, I thank all of you guys for joining the channel membership. Let me also give a shout out with you as well. Minnie just joined the channel membership, and you ladies are doing an amazing job right now. Y'all are coming in and kicking butt and supporting what we try to stand for. And we really try to give these babies a voice that they really don't have out here. I've seen a couple people on YouTube, even the people that reached out to me, that we're thinking about still trying to mobilize and go to Tulsa for that situation. But shout out to people like that, man. Really, and let me give a shout out to Chris Thorns, because he came in here and he donated earlier. Shout out to him. But I appreciate anybody who gives these children a voice, because we need more voices to speak for these babies, for real. And you ladies are standing on that, and I truly appreciate that. Shout out to my guys. Don't think I'm forgetting about the guys, by no means. But the guys know I love y'all. I really do. I really do. Look at that. Charlene Robinson, Fabulous 40, upgraded her membership to our very, very top perk. That's the #1 perk in the AFC when you click that join button, and she upgraded her membership. And Charlene, from my heart to yours, thank you. That's all I could do is thank you so much for that. Hey, what's up, Cherie, baby? Thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate that. With yours, Charlene, you're going to actually have some additional perks on there. So when you get ready to take advantage of that, make sure and shoot me an email, and I'll make sure and give you over that information whenever you're ready to use it. But thank you, Charlene. Salute, salute, salute. We got 2 more videos. Let's wrap up. Let's get it.
His mother, Alicia Pankey, was formally charged with child abuse resulting in death and abuse of a corpse. Matt Uris, covering Colorado First.
Caden was filled with light and lit up the room.
He was sweet and gentle, and our entire family fell in love with him.
Family, friends, even teachers.
He was bright, hardworking, and kind to everyone around him.
They all remember this 7-year-old boy as they knew him, full of life and always smiling.
421 days ago, on January 3rd, we learned through a media lens that our family would never be whole again.
A few weeks earlier, in December 2018, authorities found Caden McWilliams' body in a Denver storage unit.
Caden's tragedy has deeply saddened our community.
Investigators found him entombed in concrete, saying they believed he'd been dead for months.
With shock, horror, disbelief, outrage, and sadness.
Caden's mother, Alicia Pankey, pleaded guilty to child abuse resulting in death last year. Today, a judge sentenced his father, Leland, to more than 7 decades in prison.
He trusted them to take care of him, to love him.
The 7-year-old boy's loved ones, those who remember him in this courtroom, now endure their own sentence.
597 days ago, Caden McWilliams was officially given his angel wings.
They count each moment that passes without Caden.
515,808,800 seconds ago.
Down.
Okay, let me see. Who said that? Cynthia asked, what was the cause of death? Let me see if I can get that. The coroner said that he was severely emaciated. He had injuries on his head and body and a measure of methamphetamine in his blood. keep in mind, I think they also said asphyxia, if I'm not mistaken. But keep in mind the fact that he was inside that cage, so he could have choked to death from not really having any proper ventilation. And then they poured concrete inside of it. Ooh, I hate to say that. Guys, they might have poured concrete inside of there while he was alive. God, dog. I hate telling y'all that. Sometimes I hate telling y'all what my real true thoughts are about my hypothesis about what I believe happened. They might have buried him alive. God, that is so messed up. Because they really don't know. They destroyed, what did they call that? Deconsecrate or consecrate, something like that. I don't know. But they destroyed this kid's body while he was living, while they were trying to put him in that cage and bury him, and after. They are literally demons for doing what they did. Here's the last video, and then we're going to wrap up. This is the last video.
How could a child go missing for as long as 7 months without anyone noticing? That is the question many of us are asking tonight in the wake of Caden McWilliams' death. Good evening, and thanks for watching Denver 7. I'm Andrew Healy.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. That 7-year-old's body was found at a Denver storage unit late last month, but he may have been dead for months. Jacqueline Allen is live tonight. And Jacqueline, you learned that the last time he was seen alive was at school.
That's right, and that was back on May 24th, which means he went missing the last week of the school year, and police just arrested that little.
Riker's Mimi pointed out a good point. She said they can find out if there was concrete in his lungs or not. Great point. Great point. But based on what I pulled up, I didn't find that specifically, but maybe we would have desecrate. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Couldn't remember the word. I'm not that great with big words. I promise y'all that. I try to use them $5 words, few and far in between. But it's possible, possibly in the court documents, that maybe they spell it out in more detail. I don't even know if I even want to find out, to be honest with you, man. For real.
But boy's mother after his death here in this storage unit, but we wanted to know how he fell through the cracks for so many months.
It has been 7 months since Caden McWilliams was last seen alive. He was in school then at Denver's Ellis Elementary, described as a kind and sweet 7-year-old. But now police confirmed the last week of school, Caden disappeared. Today, Denver Public Schools would not comment on whether anyone had reported Caden missing then, saying the district does not want to hinder the police investigation. But police started searching for the boy just 2 weeks ago and then arrested his mother, Alicia Pankey, December 22nd on a heroin charge. Shortly after, police receiving tips leading them to this storage unit where they found Caden's body. Police also arrested this man, Leland Pankey, Alicia's husband, on a year-old domestic violence charge. Records obtained by Denver 7 show he was accused of strangling a woman until she lost consciousness in 2017. He's not yet charged in Caden's death, and it's not clear if he is Caden's father. What we know is the coroner is still investigating how this little boy died, and it could have happened months ago. What we don't know is why it took so long for anyone to take action.
And Caden's mother and Leland Pankey refused to talk to us today from jail. We also reached out to several family members who did not want to talk to us today. Now, right now, the affidavit in this case is sealed. We will find out more about what happened here when a judge unseals it. Reporting live in Denver, Jacqueline Allen, Denver 7.
All right, guys, that wraps up the news videos, and I know it was a lot of them, and I try my best to give you guys as many news videos as possible because sometimes there's not enough coverage on these stories. And shout out to all of the news outlets that we showed by way of fair use, by the way. But and let me give a shout out to Relationship Rehab. If you guys do not mind me putting a small plug out there, I believe he's getting ready to go live. So after we finish this, I want to see 200 plus people, whoever is here. Make sure you guys not only subscribe to his channel, but make sure you guys go over there and watch his stream as well. But shout out to Relationship Rehab in the building, okay? Let's wrap up with this. This story proves that equality in America has failed us, okay? The reason for that. even with us talking about this, I could not find a legitimate reason why women do not get the same amount of time in prison for the murder of this kid as the men do. I don't see there is any good justifiable reason that women get less time. Okay? What they did to this child was cruel. Matter of fact, let me just read the words. Let me read the words. Let me tell y'all how they described this, because they described it perfectly. I'm going to just read it to you. Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second. What they did was intentional. It was deliberate. It was calculated. It was callous. It was self-serving and depraved of any sense of humanity or human kindness. Now tell me that is not a definitive way to describe this story. There was absolutely no reason for them to starve this kid, beat this kid up, and murder this kid, and then hide him for God knows how long. No reason for that. I'm sure that even though we have a strained foster care system, there was somebody out there that would have seen that little boy's face that would have gladly volunteered to be a real parent to him. That boy deserved better than what he got. Caden McWilliams, 7 years old, deserved better. His friends at school are going to miss him. His teachers, I'm sure, are probably going to be just completely devastated by this. It doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like the family cared much, but I can't put too much of the onus on the parents or on the extended family, so to say, because maybe they didn't know the extent. Maybe they didn't get an opportunity to see what was really going on. But ultimately, the people that failed this boy was the biological mother and the biological father. At the end of the day, we have to fix problems at the source, and they are the source of our issue. Cut his nuts off. Take the testicles away from him. Throw him out. Put him in an incinerator. He doesn't need them. That woman, that mother, so to say, snatch her ovaries out. Throw them away. Use them as fertilizer. They don't deserve life, and death, a swift death, is too good for them. These assholes have a very special place in hell. Next to the devil himself. There's a special corner where they're going to sit these child abusers and child murderers and let them sit there in the corner in hell. It's exactly what they deserve. While they're here on earth, instead of letting them rot in prison, what we should do is put them on the space program. Shout out to the people putting the space emoji or the rocket emojis in the chat. Let them join NASA. Put them on an experimental rocket and launch their ass into space without a way to come back to Earth. I would love to see them die a very slow death. Let me get this baby boy's picture up on the screen without his parents on there, because I hate their faces. Pause it right here. That breaks my heart for this young boy right here, this baby boy who was too young to speak for himself. He was too young to defend himself against the tyranny of his own parents. They starved him. They beat him. They murdered him, and even desecrated and disrespected the hell out of him after his passing. This baby boy deserved a chance for this world to see him grow up into being something great. He has a light about himself in his eyes, and he deserved an opportunity to live, okay? I want to say rest in peace to Caden McWilliams, who was 7 years old. He's sitting next to God right now. And I'm honored to have an opportunity to at least share his story, not only with our audience, but hopefully more people will continue to share the messages of these children. And I hope that it's a cautionary tale that causes us to want to do better with our own children, with our family members, with our neighbors. And I really hope that we'll start to come together as Americans that bleed red, white, and blue, and really just come together and try to be better people, okay? This is your boy DJ Just Jay. As you guys can see in the chat, we are the AFC. That means we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours. From my heart to yours. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Please enjoy your weekend, and we will see you guys back here on the next stream, okay? Enjoy your night. Talk to you later. Peace.